The Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves at a critical juncture in their franchise's history, one that could determine their future for years to come. After another underwhelming season in 2024, the team's leadership, including General Manager Omar Khan, recognizes that something drastic must change in order to steer the Steelers back toward championship contention. With the franchise's current trajectory stagnating, Khan is ready to take a calculated risk in the 2025 NFL Draft, one that could either pay huge dividends or backfire spectacularly. The target? A bold quarterback selection that could redefine the future of the franchise. The 2024 season wasn't just a setback, it was an indictment of Pittsburgh's current structure. As the season progressed, the Steelers were outplayed in critical moments, and the coaching staff, led by longtime head coach Mike Tomlin, took a significant amount of heat. Though Tomlin is widely respected for his ability to keep the team competitive, even through tough seasons, his leash is starting to shorten. While he's proven that he can keep the team afloat amid adversity, the frustration of underachieving in key moments has taken a toll on his legacy. The late-season collapse was especially hard to digest, as it exposed not just Tomlin's weaknesses, but the underlying flaws within the entire organization. Tomlin has weathered storms before, but the situation in 2024 was different. Even with quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, both brought in with high expectations, the Steelers' offense never found its rhythm. Neither quarterback proved to be a long-term answer, despite flashes of talent. While both exceeded initial expectations, they were not the game-changers Pittsburgh needed to make a Super Bowl run. Despite showing promise in some games, these quarterbacks were ultimately unable to elevate the Steelers beyond a middle-of-the-road record. As a result, the team finds itself trapped in what many are calling quarterback purgatory, hovering around .500 with no clear path forward. To make matters worse, the team's supporting cast, especially the wide receivers and defense, struggled to step up in key moments. Injuries played a huge role, but the lack of depth and talent at critical positions also became glaring. The defense, once one of the league's most feared, could not sustain its level of play through the season's toughest stretches. The Steelers' receiving corps, also decimated by injuries, couldn't provide consistent support to the quarterbacks, leaving the offense in disarray. In short, Pittsburgh's current roster simply wasn't good enough to compete with the top teams in the AFC, especially in a division that includes high-powered offenses like the Cincinnati Bengals and Cleveland Browns. This reality has created a sense of urgency within the Steelers' front office. The organization needs to shake things up, and that means finding a long-term solution at quarterback, something that has eluded the Steelers for far too long. The draft will be the first place to look for that answer, and in 2025, there's a bold move on the horizon. Pittsburgh holds the 21st pick in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft, but the two elite quarterbacks in the class, likely to be drafted in the top 10, are already out of reach. That's left the Steelers in a difficult position, but it hasn't dissuaded them from trying to find a game-changing quarterback. While the free agent market offers little in terms of quality signal callers, the draft still holds promise. Enter Jackson Dart, the Mississippi quarterback with intriguing potential who could become Pittsburgh's next franchise leader. According to a two-round mock draft by Pro Football Network, the Steelers are willing to take a risk in round 2, selecting Dart with the 52nd overall pick. While Dart isn't regarded as a can't-miss prospect, his aggressive playstyle and arm talent make him an enticing option. His ability to throw the ball into tight windows and attack downfield could be exactly what Pittsburgh needs in order to modernize its offense. His play at Mississippi showcased flashes of brilliance, but also periods of inconsistency, making his development in the NFL uncertain. Despite these concerns, Dart brings something to the table that Pittsburgh desperately needs: a potential star quarterback. Dart has the type of big playability that can energize an offense, which is something the Steelers have been missing for years. His raw arm talent and ability to make tight window throws are qualities that stand out, and with proper development, he could turn into a much-needed game-changer. His decision-making and mechanics are areas that need refinement, but his upside is there. It's also important to note that while Dart is far from a perfect prospect, his selection represents a shift in philosophy for the Steelers. Pittsburgh has been playing it safe for too long, choosing stability over risk. That approach has kept them competitive but unable to break through in a loaded AFC. The Steelers' reliance on safe options in the past hasn't led them to the promised land, and it's time to think outside the box. The second round may not seem like a high-stakes gamble, but selecting Dart would be a significant move that signals Pittsburgh is willing to take risks to solve their quarterback dilemma. If Dart succeeds, the Steelers could have their next franchise quarterback for years to come, someone who could lead the team back into championship contention. But if he falters, Pittsburgh won't have much to lose. The quarterback class in 2025 isn't as deep as in previous years, and the Steelers are desperate for a change. Even if Dart doesn't become an elite quarterback, a competent starter would be an immediate upgrade over the carousel of quarterbacks the team has dealt with in recent seasons. The key will be the development process, and that's where the Steelers' coaching staff, led by Tomlin, will need to step up and make sure Dart is properly prepared for the NFL grind. But beyond Dart, the draft itself could be the turning point in reshaping Pittsburgh's future. The Steelers have a deep roster with plenty of talent, particularly on defense. A successful draft could address the weaknesses that were exposed in 2024, most notably at wide receiver and along the offensive line. Strengthening these areas, along with potentially finding a new quarterback in Dart, could give the Steelers the fresh start they desperately need. For Pittsburgh, the 2025 NFL Draft is their best shot at revitalizing the franchise. Jackson Dart represents both a bold gamble and a glimmer of hope that the team can emerge from its quarterback purgatory and back into the ranks of the AFC elite. It won't be easy, but if Dart develops into the quarterback the Steelers hope he can be, Pittsburgh may finally find the long-term solution they've been searching for. As the offseason progresses and the draft nears, all eyes will be on Pittsburgh to see if they can finally turn the page